What's going on, guys? Zeus here. And a subscriber asked me to make a video on my view on tolerance, which actually is a very great subject. Now, truth be told, I haven't placed as much complex thought into the subject of tolerance as I have every other topic I've ever discussed on my channel. However, I can give my opinion. Certainly isn't anything to prove anything, like with most videos, or to show anything or do anything else. Just kind of my opinion and my view on the topic. So, though philosophical discussions, we must start with a criteria, otherwise we won't know what we're talking about. So let's figure out, what does the word tolerance mean? Siri, give me the definition of the word tolerance.
Let me think. Okay, I found this on the web. For Siri, give me the definition of the word tolerance.
Define tolerance.
From 5 definitions
There we go.
of tolerance.
Okay.
The first one is,
Thank you, Siri.
I live to serve.
I apologize for that, guys. Anyway, first definition of the word tolerance. The power or capacity of an organism to tolerate unfavorable environmental conditions. Okay. A disposition to allow freedom of choice and behavior. I think most people would agree with that definition. The act of tolerating something. Willingness to recognize and respect the beliefs of other practices, willingness to recognize and respect the beliefs or practices of others. I think most people go with definition number 4. Number 5, a permissible difference, allowing some freedom to move within limits. Okay, so let's see, which definition of tolerance should we use? Let's go with 245. Okay, those are our definitions for the word tolerance. Now, interestingly enough, whenever I hear the word tolerance, I normally hear it from people who support LGBT communities saying that everyone else should tolerate gay people getting married. And then they say that, you know, if you don't want to have a gay marriage, just don't get gay married, which is a very interesting reply that, I don't know, it's just a very interesting reply. I won't get into that. However, usually when I hear about tolerance, it's normally coming from those type of supporters. Not necessarily gay people, but supporters of that community. And the most ironic thing that comes to mind when it comes to people who preach tolerance is that oftentimes they're the most intolerant people around. I'm sorry, but my opinion on intolerance is that it is mostly bull spit, or just straight BS. I don't think anyone is ever actually truly tolerant, and I don't think anyone should ever actually be truly tolerant to ideas that are absolutely toxic and nonsensical. If the idea has been shown to have unfavorable outcomes, or is shown to be detrimental to someone's health, then I say you absolutely should not tolerate that at all. Like, at all. If you can see that the effects are damaging, then no, you should not be impartial to it or indifferent, and no, you shouldn't just say, well, I'm going to tolerate it even though it hurts people. Absolutely not, right? For example, when I make the videos on slut shaming, you know, if I was to just tolerate sluts being sluts, then I would be really indifferent to the fact that these women go around and have sex and get damaged and then bring it back to other people who don't deserve that. That's not right. And also, it's just not okay for their health too, okay? Now, the whole thing with telling people your opinion is that you have to understand that it's just your opinion, and that, you know, it's not going to always change people's mind or make people, you know, do what you want them to do. And so there's that aspect, you know. But again, when it comes to bad ideas, I don't know, I just don't like the idea of tolerance, to be completely honest. I think you should be able to criticize anything and everything. I think everything should be able to put to scrutiny, and if it's a great idea, then it will withstand the tests of scrutiny. You know, my dad always says, man, you don't test steel by looking at it, you test steel by beating it, you know. So I apply that to anything and everything. You know, you don't test an idea, you don't test people, you don't test anything by just looking at it and see what it looks like. You have to put it to the test. And if you have this idea of tolerance, and that you should all just tolerate different ideas and different opinions and different beliefs, well, then no ideas ever get criticized or scrutinized, and no one is going to be able to know if it's a good or bad idea, or if it's helpful or if it's not helpful. So I say tolerance, I don't like it at all. I think it's terrible. And then there's the aspect, like I said, that well, most of the time the people who preach tolerance are oftentimes very intolerant people. You know, it's a very ironic thing, you know, oftentimes, you know, or you'll hear people say, I'm intolerant to intolerance. And to those people, I always have to say, man, you know, do unto others, and you have others do unto you, for that is the golden rule. Sure, everyone doesn't work on that morality, that moral framework, but I like, seriously, like, you can't sit here and tell me that you're not going to be tolerant and expect everybody else to be tolerant because you're right, and there's no way to know that you're right because I'm just supposed to accept the fact that you feel differently. So get out of here with that. And I guess, ironically, though, well, not yet, sorry, ironically wouldn't be the word. Interestingly enough, I guess technically speaking, you can still tolerate an idea even if you dislike it. I mean, one of those definitions, it's like, I shouldn't have closed it out. Anyway, well, one of the definitions, you know, is having respect for other people's beliefs and opinions. And you can have respect for people's beliefs and opinions and still criticize it. Now, while it is indeed true that I mock feminism, like, until the sun doesn't come up, right? And while it's true I mock social justice warriors, originally, when I originally first started making my YouTube videos, I did actually make them with the thought that feminists will watch them and actually talk to me. So I guess I was kind of tolerant at that point in time. But as time progressed, I was like, this is asinity at its goddamn finest. And then the more feminists I talked to, the more I began to realize this culture war was happening, and I never even knew it was going on. So, but it is possible to be tolerant and still scrutinize an idea. However, I think what a lot of people think when it comes to like respect is, I think a lot of people kind of talk about, like, think about impartiality, that you don't care, that you don't let it bother you, or you tolerate it. But even then, if you think about the word tolerance, you know, like the word, I mean, especially the denotative meaning, you know, is, you know, to tolerate something, you know, is to hold out and to let it hurt you, or to deal with it for a prolonged period of time. Again, we read the definition, so you guys already know what the word tolerance means. And so again, interesting enough, I mean, depending on the definition of what you mean by tolerance and what you use by tolerance, you can have it mean that you should just bite the bullet and accept the fact that things happen that you don't want to happen, but that doesn't mean you go out and you say mean things or do mean things. And I guess to that extent, I mean, I think there are sometimes you have to tolerate some things, but I don't think it's something that should be like enforced, or that you should be told to be intolerant of anything and everything that happens. I just think that, you know, when being an adult and coming with wisdom, there are some things that you're going to have to accept. You can't change on your own. You can't change by yourself. And you're going to have to bite the bullet and deal with it for the time being until, you know, you get more people to change their minds. You get more people to work with you. And I guess that could be anything, really, you know. But in terms of tolerating something and respecting it, because a lot of people think that if you respect someone's idea, you respect something, that you don't criticize, you don't have anything negative to say about it. I say that's not true. You can certainly respect something, and you can respect another human being and completely disagree with them or disagree with that idea. It's possible to have a disagreement and, you know, be respectful with people and have a nice conversation with them. I do it all the time. And sometimes, I mean, a lot of people make the mistake that their idea or what they like is them, and that's where we get into a very terrible part about tolerance, because then those people who wear the identity and wear the label and have it as themselves, you know, like with the feminists, I think feminists are the first people who come to mind. Then you have people who support gay rights and the LGBT community, is when you let that become your identity, you know, of course you scream and preach tolerance, because that's how you protect your worldview, and that's how you protect the way you feel about the world, right? And so, I guess again, in conclusion, you know, interesting thing about tolerance, I personally think it's a bad idea. I don't like the idea of tolerance and tolerating things. I think if you want something, I think the better word would be acceptance, accepting people's ideas, or accepting the way they feel, not necessarily agreeing with them. But tolerance kind of has a ring of impartiality to it, that you're indifferent. And I'm like, I don't really like being on the fence about things. I mean, sometimes you have to if you don't have enough information. That's alright. But I mean, like, if you've studied a topic and you just don't care, I don't know, that bothers me a little bit. But I don't think tolerance should be there, you know, and to protect stupid ideas or to protect people's feelings. I was like, no, you should be able to criticize anything, and you can do so respectfully without this idea. Because I think, again, when people think of tolerance, they say, you know, you just let it be, you let it happen, and I'm like, no, I don't think that's okay at all. Because if we all just tolerated stupid ideas, I mean, where would we be right now? We certainly wouldn't be able to have the internet and all these different kind of technologies around us. So, I mean, as human beings, we have to challenge the world around us, and we have to fight, and we have to struggle with different ideas, man. That's the plank of man, is to do in the fight and the struggle. And in tolerance, that kind of just sounds like you just, instead of struggling and fighting, you just take it. And I'm like, no, I don't like that at all, you know. But those are my thoughts on the topic. Hopefully, I've made the person who requested this video very happy. These are just my opinions. I am not saying to prove anything out of this video, just my thoughts on the topic. You guys are free to disagree with anything that I say. And by all means, talk to me in the comment box below. Go ahead and make suggestions for videos you guys would like to see here on this video. Ask me questions so I can make a question and answer video for the people who would love to know more stuff about myself. And by all means, go to my Patreon feed. You can pledge there, and you can get your own video that you requested out as quickly as I can possibly make it. So that being said, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, have a great day. See you cool cats soon. Adios.